What is going on, it's your boy Alex going at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we're back at it with some more token reward cards, this one being for the ruby tier. So if you guys are excited for this video, make sure you guys smash the like button down below, as well as check out the emerald and sapphire if you guys are on that one. You guys can see only need like 4 more tokens and then we can finish off this ruby tier, and I can move up to amethyst and start cranking some of these out, which honestly look like some pretty solid cards. I feel like amethyst is really where it starts to take that turn for actually pretty good, but sadly we're stuck on the ruby. But with a lot of these cards, I actually saw a noticeable difference between them. You guys can see all the ones that I decided to pick up here, and I'll probably go ahead and snag, you know, Nene or something like that, just cuz. But a lot of these cards actually really helped me out. If we go and look at my offline lineup that I was actually running for a while, I was having Paul Pressey right here at the 2, I think, is my backup. Dan Marley gave me some really solid minutes for the longest while. So a lot of these ruby guys are actually pretty crazy, but there are a select few that I think are significantly better than other ones from here. And again, these are 4 that I definitely wouldn't recommend picking up. Herb Williams, Hot Rod Williams, Kevin Duckworth, and Nene. Really just, yeah, you're better off now. But out of the ones that I actually did go ahead and pick up, and I thought that were great, there are a few ones, again, that I don't think are worth picking up. First off, don't pick up Casey Jones. Really just ain't it. I snagged him just because, I mean, he's a lockdown defender. You know, we got pretty good defense, but the thing is, if we look at his offense, he can't dunk at all, he can't shoot at all, no post game, but he can take layups. He's got an 83, so I guess that's good. But he's got some nice playmaking and some really good defense, so for that aspect, he was actually a pretty decent card. But for everything else, definitely not worth it. Danielle Marshall, if you really need a stretch big, you can, but the defense just really ain't it. Reggie Williams is okay, but for the guys that are really good, we're gonna start off with my favorite, the card that I think that is the best off the ruby tier, and that's Kerry Kittles. Kerry Kittles, I didn't expect to be as good as he was, but I picked him up, I tried him out. He's insane. Like, Kerry Kittles actually kind of blew my mind away with how well he played, because for the last few years he's just kind of been a little meh. But with Kerry Kittles, you can see we have an awesome offensive overall and a pretty nice defensive overall, 84 and 15 gold badges. You know, we got corner specialists, we got catch and shoot, which is awesome, pick dodger, we got consistent fast break finisher, pro touch, my favorite badge this year, flexible release, and green machine, all helping out a bunch. And we even have bronze, pickpocket, and clamps as well to help us out. And with Kerry Kittles, we have an 84 driving layup, a really good 3-point shot of an 87, an 88 mid-range, as well as a 75 driving dunk, and some pretty decent playmaking with an 80 perimeter and an 80 steal. So the great thing about Kerry Kittles to me was his slashing ability. With that 75, he actually can get there pretty handedly, and then his jump shot was super money to me, really easy to time, and was just able to crank it out. Like, it was no problem with Kerry Kittles. I feel like overall on offense, he was just an absolute beast, and he still held the zone on defense. So definitely one of the cards that I'd recommend, especially if you need a 2 guard, at least for that position. The next guy that I really recommend, I kind of hinted to it when I was talking about him, and it's Dan Marley. I know they play the same position, but Dan Marley, 6'6", pretty decent release. I won't claim that it's the greatest, but 11 gold badges. Catch and shoot, corner specials, pickpocket, pick dodger, flexible release, green machine, hot zone hunter. Like, come on. All super clutch badges, and we also have gold volume shooter. And the reason I loved this Dan Marley is I let Dan Marley just sit there and do his own damn thing when we were playing on a lot of the harder difficulty games, and he just came out with a bunch of clutch steals for me. And obviously is still a insane shooter, because if we go ahead and look here, we have an 86 driving layup, but an 88 mid-range and an 89 3-point shot, as well as a pretty decent driving dunk too, a 76. And again, the defense is nice, 89 perimeter and a 79 steal. So the real reason Dan Marley was in here is just to play some really solid defense and hit a few threes for you. Although hitting some threes can be rare for some people, Dan Marley for sure can get you a few here and there. And again, the defense is what I absolutely loved about Dan Marley. He just kind of came in there and did everything that I wanted, plus a little bit more. The next guy that I think is decently slept on, but is still a pretty nice card, and that is Alvin Adams. Now, Alvin Adams is, I feel like, more catered towards an offline kind of guy, and he has 12 gold badges. You guys can see them all right here that really help him out, including Dimer at the center position, which if you do one of the money plays that people were showing, I think DBG might have shouted out, if you do that money play where you have your center sit in the post and do that sort of stuff, you get a big boost off of Dimer from Alvin Adams, so it's pretty nice, and you can set some big body Miyagis. Now, Alvin Adams isn't the most well-rounded card, or actually isn't the most insane at every single stat kind of guy, but it's just a well-rounded center. We have some decent speed, we have some pretty good rebounding, we have good interior and good block, we have some decent playmaking, a really good 70 driving dunk with an 85 standing, we have the 87 mid-range, which is absolutely money, 3, we can't hit those, and the post game is actually pretty good too, an 87 post fade, 88 post hook. So Alvin Adams was a card, I think, in 2K20 that nobody wanted to touch. They didn't even want to go near him at all, and I feel like he's actually pretty decent. Now, he can't hit the 3 whatsoever, but you get him into the mid-range, he can actually bang those out. The post game is absolutely money, and he can still hold his own on defense, do really good on that side of the floor, and overall, it's just a pretty good card in general to just try him out and have some fun. And again, eventually, if you don't like any of these cards, you can always just, send them somewhere else. Another guy that is actually really solid, like I did hint at before, Paul Pressey. Paul Pressey is just an insane defender, and that's why I love him. You can see through the 3 games that I didn't quit out before, the end of it, he didn't score. He just played awesome defense for me, because we have 20 gold badges. You can see pickpocket, pick dodger, and gold clamps. We also have tie defender and trapper, and some amazing finishing, as well as quick first step and unpluckable. That's why I wanted him in the game. If we go ahead and look at his defense right here, we have a 90 perimeter and an 88 steal on Paul Pressey, which is just absolutely insane. We also have a 90 driving dunk, and he honestly, if I used him more, would probably be up there with my favorite from this token market, just because of how absolutely insane he is with that 90 driving dunk, as well as the amazing defense. Can hit the occasional 3 out of 72 and has a 79 mid-range, which ain't too bad, with the 85 driving layup. He kind of feels more like a two-way slasher. You're going to be playing a lot of defense and getting a few layups and dunks here and there. But I think he fits the meta that we have in the game right now pretty perfectly, where you're going to be slashing at the basket, just rim running with him like crazy, and then hold his own in there. You just sometimes can get shot over, but still has some pretty good size at 6'5" for the 2 guard. So definitely not too bad, but I would for sure not run him at the 3 if I were you. Now, the last spot that we have on this team is probably like a 3-way tie between Reggie Williams, Keith Van Horn, and Jeff Hornacek. There isn't too much craziness that I'm feeling for any of these guys. Keith Van Horn was okay, but his release was a little iffy for me. Reggie Williams was, again, a pretty nice guy that's just all around decent. He's just good at everything, but doesn't have the gold badges, I felt like, to really back himself up, but has a bunch of silver ones. But I would prefer to have gold clamps on like a Paul Pressey instead of a silver on Reggie Williams. That's just me. And then Jeff Hornacek, the reason that he is an absolute god is because Jeff Hornacek is, although short, a 92 shot 3 with a 90 mid-range and a 90 free throw. He's the definition of a pasty white boy that can shoot the ball. A good release, and we have 15 gold badges, all of them in shooting besides, I think, unpluckable and bailout, which honestly just kind of unreal when it comes to there. And then we also have silver Deadeye and silver Hot Zone Hunter. So when it comes to actually just pure shooting the ball, like a pure actual sharp, if you just really need to start hitting some threes, Jeff Hornacek's your guy and really fits that role perfectly. So could be a good addition to your team, but the big negative is his defense. He's really not going to be giving you anything there. You can see we have an 80 perimeter, which actually isn't too bad, but everything else just is okay, and his speed is pretty slow for a 2 guard as well. So he's like a worse defensive Klay Thompson with just a little bit better shooting, if that makes sense. But that's my best, Ruby token reward cards that I've found. Again, none of these guys I really think are too great. Emerald tier, really disappointing. Sapphire tier, pretty disappointing for me. Ruby, disappointing as well. But the Amethyst is actually looking pretty decent, and it's going to be a fun one. I'm slowly going to be cranking some of these out and seeing how crazy they could be. Like this Eddie Johnson, if he's got a good release, could be absolutely money. What is it? Freddie Lewis at 6 foot. has some crazy stats and just an amazing amount of, you know, gold badges. A lot of these guys are just absolutely insane. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really fun. So, yeah, let me know which one of the token reward cards you guys have used so far in the game is your favorite and which ones you guys are looking forward to going ahead and picking up. Like if you guys did enjoy, and make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 7.1K. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video.